natural consequences and why they are so good for your child. Okay, so one of my children had a summer job. Now, I generally try really hard to protect the privacy of my kids, and I have a lot of kids, and hopefully you won't figure out which one it is. So the she could be a he and the he could be a she, so just know that. I had a child who had a summer job, and the summer job paid pretty okay. By the end of the summer, my child had like amassed like maybe $2,000 or so, and he was like, yeah, put it aside. Make sure he's like, this I'm going to spend, and this I'm going to buy this with, and take $1,000, and don't let me spend it. Put it in the account. Don't let me have this money. Now I was like, okay, I'll save it for you, no problem. But the condition is that when I ask for the money, you're going to give it back to me, right? You're not going to say that I can't have it, right? Because it's my money. I was like, yeah, sure. You're a teen, like an older teen. Like this is your money. I'm not going to take it from you. I'm not going to hold it from you. Trust me, I will just hold it for you till you want it. So the year went by, and this kid was, out of state, learning somewhere else, and actually learning near my parents. So one time I went to visit, and I was visiting my parents and my teen. And he said to me like, oh, by the way, I really want to have that money now, that $1,000. I was like, really, you want the whole thing? And he's like, yeah, I want the whole thing. I was like, really? Are you sure? That's a good idea. Yeah, I really want to have it. I want to have it on me. Besides, you're not here. And yeah, it's really just get me the money. So I was like, okay. Anyway, my mother heard about this. And she was like, no, don't give the money. Don't give the money. I'm telling you, he's going to lose it. He's going to waste it. He's going to be gone. He's not going to have the money in a couple months. It's going to be completely gone. And we'll have worked so hard, and he could use that for his future. I was like, look, this is my child's money. I already promised him that I would give him the money when he wants it. So I can't just hold it from him. It's his money. He earned the money, and it's his. It's his to take. Anyway, my mother got my father involved in the conversation. My father was sort of siding with me. And I was like, look, where I'm giving them the money. My mother was beside. I'm telling you he's going to lose money. I'm telling you he's going to waste the money. I'm going to say you told you so afterwards. Anyway, I gave my kid the money. Guess what happened? I mean, this is really hard to guess. A few months later, the kid comes back to me, Mommy, I don't know where the money went. I just spent it on a few little knickknacks, and I bought some extra lunches, and I went out a few times, and the money's all gone. I had no idea how fast it goes. I wish I hadn't taken the money from you. And guess what my mother said? I told you so. And guess what I said? I said, yes, this is excellent. I was actually so excited. Now, of course I didn't say that to my son. Of course I didn't say that to my parents. All I said was say it to myself. You know why? Because natural consequences are awesome. They are the best kind of consequences that your child could ever go through in their life. Why? Because a consequence is there to teach you a life lesson. We all have consequences. We all go through things in life. We make a decision. We go through down a certain road. And then this is what happens because of it. We all have natural consequences that happen to us all the time. Like, you go out in the winter and you don't put on a coat and then you get sick. That's called a natural consequence, right? We all go through things like that. But when your child does something that causes a natural consequence when they're younger, guess what? They learn a lesson when they're younger that they might have otherwise only learned when they were older with a higher consequence, right? A bigger loss. What if this kid hadn't learned that lesson, how fast money goes, and only when they started making real money, and then they blew $20,000, $40,000, I actually have a relative who came into a bunch of money through certain circumstances, and ended up with like $100,000 and blew it within a year. And all of a sudden realized, I can't believe it's all gone. Because he had never realized the value of how quickly money could come and go and how much he better not waste it. And now this child has a real job, and he's very careful with his money, and he's so responsible, and he knows when to be careful and not to spend things on nothing. So natural consequences are amazing, but who are they really hard for? They're hard for you and me. They're hard for my mother. They're hard for all of us going through it, thinking, oh my gosh, my poor child. I don't want them to lose money. I don't want them to have pain. I don't want them to feel bad. I don't want them, something should happen that they should be slightly uncomfortable in life. Because we all want our kids to be happy, and we want them to be comfortable, and we want them to have everything good, and we want them to give them everything good. But you know what? Kids need to learn life lessons. And the best way is through a natural consequence, because then you and I, we're not the bad guys. It's life circumstance. It's my child did it to himself, sort of, right? These things happen. They happen, and you just have to learn a lesson from it. That is the best kind of consequence, because kids go through regular things in life just like you and me, and we can't save them from everything. So if you're always trying to save your child from a natural consequence when they're little, when they grow up, they're not going to be able to deal with life's real challenges. The natural consequences are awesome because we love our kids and we want them to learn the important lessons in life.